Make yourself valuable. Very valuable. Daily, it's so easy to live a life of being just directed at oneself, being selfish in one's life. And you always have to decide, how do you greet people? How do you work? How do you do things? How do you present yourself? There's a great line in a movie called Race, and it goes something like this, and it's said by the mum of the athlete. Just as he's about to walk out the door, and she's made him a jacket, and she says to him, "It's for a man to present an image to the world. Man presents an image to the world." And it's more than an image. It's who you are as a person. What is your value? And you need to communicate that all of the time. You are a brand, and you're a product, you're an idea, you're a concept, and you need to get that out to everybody. Anytime you meet somebody, they must know who you are. You're presenting an image straight away. Yes, this is what I do. This is what I'm about. And that extraordinariness is really what bumps up your value constantly. It's so easy to live out our lives like it's just for us. We're in this by ourselves. We're doing our own thing. We've got our own interests, and we couldn't be bothered. And that comes up a lot. I feel that and see that and experience that so often. And it's definitely not valuable to be like that. There's no value there. The value comes from living a life where you are doing extraordinary things for other people all of the time, and then people seek you out. They want you so badly. They see you as somebody that is so valuable. They've got to be near you. They've got to show up in your life. Some people don't know how to convert themselves into people of value. They spend most of their lives going through life just living in their own self-preoccupied bubble, but they can't get out of that state of it's all about me. And we live in a society where it panders to that, it caters to that. If you're just about yourself, society's going to give that back to you, because there's a lot of value back to the corporations in having you buy and consume all the time. So you stay a consumer. You don't produce anything. You're not in production on anything. So I've spent a lot of my life really just trying to build for myself and for our businesses, the companies we have, a standard of value, which basically says that I'm here. Which basically says, sorry, I'm just doing a couple of things in the middle of a traffic light change, but we have to find ways in which our value transcends us. Recently, a family member came to visit from overseas, and in the time that she stayed, she did so many things. She was of such value, such incredible value. And so that now that she's left, there's all of this legacy that she's left behind, all of these amazing things that she has done, and which we continue to enjoy. And that was a study in itself. I went, wow, what an amazing person, that she can be here and she can have such an impactful effect on everything. While she was here, she taught people things, she brought product, she sold the product, she left behind recipes and left behind product and meals and lots of things. She organized services and gardening and etc. And it just goes on and on and on. And the people that she met and spoke to, and this is a person that's not young. She doesn't have a contacts list on her mobile. She probably does, but she doesn't use it. This is someone who's able to gravitate people to her by virtue of her value, not by virtue of the fact that she has to get on the phone and call anyone. People come to her. So it's so vital that we are of value, that we genuinely communicate value. Now, there are people around you in your world already, like right now, who see you as valuable, and in fact they communicate with you daily, or they communicate with you now and again, but those people see you as valuable, and that's why they're contacting you. So you need to isolate, okay, who are these people who are communicating with you, who want to have a little bit of your time? Who are they, and why? Why is it that they see you as valuable? What is it that they look to you for? Is there something specifically that they look to you for? And then write those things down and see if you can magnify those things. Magnify the value that you have in the minds of some or a few. I regularly am building my abilities. I'm always doubling up on my skills. I'm doubling down on the things I already know. I'm constantly building value, constantly, in systems. And one of the ways that I do that is in making phone calls, in calling people and letting them know my value to them. Again, this, but then as time goes by, people contact me naturally anyway, because they now know what I can do. They've seen what abilities I have. So I'm both growing my pool of influence, but I'm also servicing the existing database of people that already communicate with me daily, people that require my assistance in some way or another. So things are interesting. Things remain active, and I think one of the things that we need to do, and we need to do them quite quickly, is we need to question, because this happens very easily in our lives. If we make way for redundancies, we make way for things that are out of date, make way for things that are completely nonsensical and of no use, more of those things continue to appear in our lives. Everything requires time and energy. Every single thing requires time and energy. If you don't activate a result, like immediately, you're probably going to revisit that, and you're going to spend the time and the effort and the energy, and that's going to work against you. It's going to work towards the hours, the minutes, the seconds that are lost in your day, which don't allow you to create and develop things that you should be creating and developing. So it's a sad state of affairs when you have so many leaks in your boat. It's a world gone crazy, because everyone else's world, people that are extremely successful and are making things happen, that are very, very efficient, they don't have all the stumbling blocks that you have. They don't have the difficulties that you have on a day-to-day basis, because they've adjusted their world. They've made their world better, cleaner, slicker. Just getting rid of paper in your environment, I find, is very valuable to me. Just getting rid of the paper. I am inundated by paper, but little things that I've done by introducing little signage stating that I don't want to receive any form of junk mail, making sure that I'm always cleaning my mail of spam, ensuring that at none of the studios or offices that I go to I'm accepting any form of spam, and I make it very clear what spam is, and I make it very clear what direct and good communication is. If somebody's trying to get a hold of me, fine, I'll receive the call. There's no issue there. I'm certainly interested in looking for things, but at the same time I'm not, because I know that those things are going to naturally suck away at my time. I become very resilient and self-contained, I guess, because I now develop everything. I write everything. I create everything. I develop my own content constantly. Everything that I'm doing is really my own, and I've got fantastic agreements in place for all sorts of things that I'm farming out, all sorts of things that I need assistance with, but those agreements make it very, very clear that those are the parameters in which we will operate. So, life has become very, very segmented, in terms of, I'm focused on certain things, but everything else, all those little other things that need to be done, tiny little things, are very much under control. And what that does is it results in a better quality of living. It results in a better and higher level of efficiency in order to develop and produce and create the things that I'm always looking to do. So I definitely feel very strongly about this subject because it is definitely a time for us to accelerate once again who we are, where we're going, what we do, turn that into higher orders of value. Because great value and great ability, great ways of making a difference and adding value to the lives of people around us are prevalent in our society, much more so than ever. And we are missing out if we don't elevate ourselves to a higher standard. So, I arrive at the studio and I'm very specific because I know how much time I'm losing out. I'm very, very specific about what I need to do and what needs to be done that day. Even like today was a very short day. My morning was eaten up having to do something else, and then I had shopping to go and do for the studio because there was a requirement for all sorts of things. It's still early in the year. Some of my staff are away. People that normally go out and buy the consumables are gone, so I had to sort of do some of those things myself. But I knew that I didn't want to waste a lot of time, so I went in and went out quickly. It took me all of 20 odd minutes, and it was great because I had fruit that I'd purchased at another shop in the car, and I knew my fruit was melting if I didn't get it into a fridge quickly. So I had 22 minutes. I knew 22 minutes, I'm going to go in, I'm going to grab the absolute essentials, and I'm going to get out. And a lot of times we need to view life that way. We're going in and we're going to go out. Like Marines, we're on a mission. Let's go in, let's get out as quickly as possible. Don't waste time, erroneously doing things that are going to burn up your day. It's not worth it. Well, the minute I got back into the studio, I did 4 things that were absolutely required to be done. One was the programming of a piece of machinery. The other one was a letter that had to be written. The other one was an agreement that had to be checked and very carefully drafted, redrafted. And the other one was a specific phone call that had to be made. And now I'm back out again. I'm on the road. I'm on my way northern suburbs to the beach. There's a specific place I need to go to, meet somebody. And I'm always practicing. Every time I meet someone, I'm always practicing a sense of value building. I'm always trying to see how fast I can build that value. How well can I build value? If I'm with somebody, I'm building value. They're saying to me, "Wow, this guy can do things." And building value comes from what you say, from what you do, and most of the time from the way that you come across. And I guess that comes from wearing superb clothing. If you look good, that connotes the value. To a degree, and I think in our society we've come to sort of equate being well dressed with high value. But it's also your deportment, how you come across. So, in rounding, I think look at your life, look at the things that you are required to do, but also look at your life and what it is that you would like to do. What are the things that you specifically are on target to do and deliver on? And then those are the ones you focus. As I said before in previous communications, ignore the distractions, move forward, move into your life, and leave the things that are of no value outside of your scope of influence. Don't worry about them too much. Just keep doing, keep making extraordinary things happen. See how you go, and comment below. Let me know how it's been going for you.